Since when did going back home become controversial? Since when did going back to your own country start needing defense? You tell people you're going back to Nigeria and suddenly they look at you like you've lost your mind. But here's the real question. Why does your decision make them so uncomfortable? Hello, I am Madam Chomzi and you're welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I beg you to consider doing so. Also like, share and my videos, and also click on the notification bell so you receive notification anytime I upload a new video. In today's video, I really want to talk about something that really annoys me and which I do find embarrassing, to be honest, and abnormal. And what it is that there's a strange culture amongst Nigerians where going abroad is seen as winning and returning back home or coming back home is seen as failing. And to be honest, it's exhausting. Because when did home become a downgrade? When did choosing your own country become something you have to explain, you have to justify, and you have to defend? I don't understand it. In this video, let's unpack why going back home to Nigeria feels like a taboo and why that mindset needs to be questioned. What I've discovered is that the escape narrative is just too strong. For many Nigerians, leaving the country and going abroad is not just relocation, it's escape. Escape from instability, escape from poor infrastructures, escape from the economy, escape from insecurity. So when someone chooses to go back, it disrupts that narrative. Because if Nigeria was something you escaped from, then why would anyone willingly return? So what happens is that it creates a cognitive dissonance. And that really annoys me, because I think people don't notice that behavior is abnormal. Where you question someone for going home, that's their home. No matter how bad that home is their home. It's you that is abnormal questioning the person that you think is abnormal going back home. A friend of mine was telling me one time that they lived in the UK then, and they was about coming back for the Christmas holiday. So obviously she's excited, she was very happy, and a colleague of hers that it's a white colleague of hers was like, the way the guy was like respond or reacting to her being happy going home was like sort of like pity, you know. So she said she was so angry that she said to the guy, why are you talking like you're feeling sorry for me for going home? I'm going home to have the best time of my life. I can understand if outsiders or people that are not from Nigeria do like react that way when you say you're going home. When they react like, are you crazy or are you out of your mind? But what I don't understand is, why would a Nigerian react that way? Because I don't get it. I'm not saying that Nigeria is perfect, but it's their home. So why would you question me for going back to my home? Or why would you look at me like I'm crazy for wanting to go home? It's so embarrassing. It's embarrassing for our people. And I want people to start thinking about it. When you open your mind and question people for wanting to go back home, think about it. Home might not be good. Home might be the hell, but it's my home. And there's nothing wrong. I don't need to explain why I'm going back to my home. So you might see my home as a shithole, but it's my home. And I love it, and I don't need to explain to you why I'm going back home. And for me, you that you're questioning me, you're the one that is crazy. Not the other way around. Because you hear stories of people that have come back home and people start saying, oh, probably they were deported. Because in your head, abroad is heaven. It's paradise. Why would someone live paradise? And to you, Nigeria is hell. We have to question these mindsets. And as I said before, I'm not saying that Nigeria is perfect, and no place is perfect. But what I've never seen a people, I don't know for other countries, I've never seen a people that react so abnormally when people tell them they are going back to Nigeria, which is also their own home. I don't understand it. I also think another reason why people might react in such ways is because they've invested too much into their relocation abroad, that they think they find it difficult to admit the complexities. Relocating is not cheap. People have spent millions of naira, taken loans, worked multiple jobs, endured loneliness, endured racism, endured financial pressure just to stay abroad. So when you say, I'm going back home, to them it feels like you're invalidating their struggle, even if you're not. Because deep down, people don't want to admit that life abroad is not always better. Money is tight, mental health is suffering, and sometimes they're not as happy as they expected. Because they went there with this unrealistic expectation based on what people have portrayed to them abroad is. So people most times travel with this unrealistic expectation. Then when they get there, reality hits them, and it's just like you going from 100 to 0. So it's like just busting someone's bubble. So most of them just get deflated. Immediately they get abroad. So when they see someone saying I'm going back to Nigeria, that decision makes them uncomfortable. And let's admit it, abroad is seen as a status symbol, a symbol of success. It comes with prestige, it comes with validation, it comes with social currency. So when someone chooses to leave that and move back home, people don't just see it as a personal decision. They try to read other meanings into it. Or they see it as you giving up status. And because we live in a society that values perception heavily, so it's very difficult for people to understand why that decision to come back home. So what they start doing is this: they start projecting their fear on you and call it advice. So most time it's not judgment, it's fear. Fear disguised as advice. So they start saying things like, are you sure? What about the economy? What about security? What about healthcare? Nigeria may happen to you. That's what someone that was what someone commented on my one of my videos. What of healthcare? Nigeria may happen to you. I don't have a health condition that requires me going to hospital or seeing the doctor frequently. For someone that does have that, of course they're going to put that into consideration. I've been in the UK. How many times did I go to see the doctor? I'm not a sickly person too. Yes, you cannot tell when you fall ill. But of course we're not stupid, though. I'm not stupid. I'll have contingency plans too. So someone coming back home don't mean that they're stupid. And you're the wise person. People are living in Nigeria, they're not dead. A lot of people. And let's just be clear about something that people do not realize. The wealthiest people that I've seen, they don't live abroad. And I'm now getting them a bit distracted. So you with all your whatever you earn, and you're not richer than people here. I tell you, the people that are wealthy, that are here, that are wealthy. All those things that you struggle, your car, how many people abroad, let me ask a question, buy their cars cash? How many of you can buy your car cash? Most of you can't even buy phone cash. People here, they buy cars that not the kind you drive, way better than the one you drive. They buy it cash, not at the price that you would buy it on credit there. They buy 3 times, they spend 3 times, 4 times that. So they don't even blink spending. What do you budget and budget and budget to spend? So let's come off this idea that people in Nigeria are poor. Yes, there's poverty, and there's poverty everywhere. There's poverty in the UK. There's poverty in the US. There are homeless people there, even more than the ones here. Let me come back to the topic today. Underneath all of their questions and advice is fear. It's fear of regret, fear of uncertainty, fear of making the wrong decision. And the truth of the matter, when you decide to want to come back home, you're going to have fears, but you've got to learn to push through those fears. If you succumb to fear every time, you'll never make any progress in life, or you never achieve anything in life. So they project all of this fear on you and call it advice. And for me, as I said, what makes me so angry about this is that it's like we've forgotten what home means. Somehow we've reached a point where Nigerians feel that they need a justifiable reason to want to go back home. And that's a real problem. Because you don't need to explain why you want to return home to your own country. Home is not a business decision. Home is not a debate. Home is not something you need to defend. Sometimes home is just home. And I need you to understand this. Now let's be clear. This is not about romanticizing Nigeria. Nigeria has real challenges. But so does everywhere else. The US, the UK, Canada, they all come with their own challenges, their own pressures. They are not perfect. And if you think those places are perfect, you're living in La La Land. So the real conversation shouldn't be, why do you want to go back? But should be, what works for you. If someone wants to stay abroad, it's fine. If someone wants to come back home, it's also fine. But we need to stop treating one decision like success and the other like failure. Because at the end of the day, the goal is not to impress people. The goal is actually to build a life that works for you. Going back home is not an abomination. And staying back in the diaspora or abroad is not a badge of honor. It's just a choice. I'm going to repeat myself. Going back to Nigeria is not an abomination. And choosing to stay back in the US, the UK, Canada, or wherever you are in the diaspora is not a badge of honor. It's just a choice. And that's what it is. So that'll be it for today. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I beg you to do so. Also like and share my videos. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.